Good evening and welcome to the Payne Lair, another part 2 of beginnings. So you want to know where I came from? Let's go back to the mental hospital, and let's even go back a little further than that. Last night I said something, I wanted to finish the thought. My mother was 42 when she got pregnant, and my parents, she famously used to brag about the fact that my father and her had used the rhythm method for 12 years and been successful at it. And if you don't know what that is, it just basically means that you have to have sex any time except when you're ovulating. You can't even be close to that point. So my parents had used that for years and years, and my mother used to laughingly say that New Year's Eve, their rhythm method of 1961 went out the window, and they got me on October 3rd, exactly, almost to the day, 9 months later. But I always wondered how my poor father felt. You know, his youngest son was 12 years old. He worked at a steel mill. He'd been working all day and 200 degrees inside of a steel mill and the rolling mill, hot iron all day. He comes home, walks a mile and a half just to get to his truck every day, and rolls in the house, cracks open a beer. My mom walks in from work and says, "Eric, you better sit down because I got some news." Oh, my poor father. Can you imagine? So anyway, he took it very well because he was awesome. I remember very distinctly one time when I was very young. I'm going to say I was probably an infant. I remember being handed to my mom on the Hope unit at the Utah State Mental Hospital, and I remember it so distinctly. I can even remember the smell of her lipstick and her makeup. She was wearing one of those typical white nurse dresses. She had red lipstick. She was a redhead anyway. She was a big woman, and she had on that bleached white nurses mental hospital uniform, just exactly what you would imagine. I remember this image like it was yesterday, and part of the reason I remember it is because I remember the smells. But my mother worked on what was called the Hope unit. That is the geriatric unit at the Utah State Mental Hospital. And when she brought a baby onto that unit, she brought baby Daryl onto that unit. Well, as you can imagine, baby Daryl very quickly became the star of the geriatric unit of the Utah State Mental Hospital. And since my mother worked and my father worked, she had no place to take me except to like a daycare center. And when she could, she would bring me to work, and I would play in her office, and eventually became friends with all of the people. And I'll have to wait and tell you more tomorrow. We'll start introducing you to my Utah State Mental Hospital friends tomorrow. They're quite amazing. I'm going to leave you today with some photos of where I grew up. I have a castle story to tell you because, believe it or not, there's a castle at the Utah State Mental Hospital, and I'm going to prove it to you because I played there when I was growing up. Until tomorrow on the Payne Lair, then.
With the rare pieces of is what I see, and all I know is a while of a year. You realize the victimized will all fade away. And for the cancer that is driven by the his on schism, for my sins that are wicked, I'm a sin and a rhythm. Paralyzed by the hope that never ends and me. I wanna have it, gotta have it, please put it in me. Now the seal's been broken so maliciously, I'm far removed from living insanity. History repeats itself is what I see, and all I know is what will be, yeah.